Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. This is our last stop for Video Game Soundtrack Week, and it is my personal selection from the poll. I mentioned earlier that the composer for this was actually a bit of a big deal in the rock world, and that's because the composer for this song is Stewart Copeland, drummer for the Police. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't necessarily have any strong nostalgia for Spyro the Dragon. I've played a few levels of one of the games when I was a tween or a teenager, somewhere around those early teens, definitely. But it's nothing that I've really have a lot of experience with. But the drummer of the Police is in here, and that's definitely got my pick, especially since, like I mentioned a couple episodes ago, I don't really know many of the games that are suggested for the week. So this is the best pick I got that actually has a reason. Anything else would have just been random. Maybe I just like the name or something. So we're specifically going to check out a song called Town Square. And this is like a 6-hour long video, so it compiles a bunch of the soundtracks. I'm going to try to cut it off. Hopefully there's a nice break between this song and whatever comes after it. Yeah, so it's fun. It's a little bouncy. Now, see, this is kind of what I was waiting for, and I'm glad this is a good example. The song is very rhythmic. Lots of pickup notes, and we got some dotted notes against non-dotted notes. And you get the ba ba da ba, and just varying rhythmic lengths like that. Yeah, nice little electric guitar bit there in the back. But you notice it's very rare to hear any note held out. Yeah, it's a song that's very heavily based on rhythms. Shorter note lengths and a variety of note lengths back to back. Even that basic bass line on the bottom has this real nice bounce to it because he uses different note lengths. I think that synth is really the first instrument that's really I was gonna say the electric guitar. I am pretty sure this is the fade out to the track, and that'd be the next one. All right. So yeah, like I said when we started, I was looking for that specific concept, that more of a rhythmic song, and we only checked out one song from these works. I don't know how many. Well, I guess at least he did the first trilogy, the first the three games. So we checked out one out of 6 hours of music. So um, I don't want to say that that's completely indicative of his work, Stewart Copeland, but um, yes, as a drummer, I've mentioned this before. Um, that drumming is a completely different style of music writing and playing than instruments that are tuned, that have notes to them. Um, Now, this isn't something that I expect everybody to agree with me on, but I do find a lot of people tend to have the same sort of ideas as this. Um, if you are a composer who has learned an instrument that is tuned and plays notes, I think you're going to be, especially if you have a lot of experience playing that instrument, it's going to be easier for you to write more melodic and harmonic elements. Whereas if you are a composer coming from a percussionist background, even though we have tuned instruments like the timpani, well, actually, we do have tuned instruments like bells, but specifically, um, Stewart is a drummer for a rock band. He has a drum kit. That's not to say that he hasn't played any sort of bells, maybe like a xylophone or something. I don't know his extensive percussion knowledge, but being a drum kit player, which is heavily rhythmic focused rather than harmonic focused or melodic focused, I kind of expected his music to be more rhythmic oriented. So that is definitely what I listened in. However, like I said, this is not always true. We checked out Frank Zappa last week during Instrumental Week, and a few people pointed out that he is the percussionist for the band for the song stuff that he wrote, and that was a huge big band song with a lot of melodic and harmonic elements. So it's definitely not something set in stone. But like I said, I've noticed a tendency that this happens. If you're a drummer, you tend to write more rhythmic oriented music. You maybe it's not necessarily you have more difficulty writing harmonic and melodic stuff. It's just that you have a tendency to stick to rhythmic elements. And we see a lot of rhythmic elements in here. There's really only two instruments that show up that actually hold out long notes. A lot of the instruments are playing things that are shorter note lengths and a variety of note lengths to create these really nice rhythms, usually bouncing between just a handful of notes. We also don't see very much as far as harmony goes. I don't think there's any instrument that does harmony. However, I also understand that this was created for an old console and that hardware limitations are definitely a thing that could have stopped that. I don't know what kind of technology a 1998 game, what kind of audio technology that they were limited by. Um, let's see, we checked out Doom, Minecraft, and Bloodborne, and all three of those are modern games that can play back full MP3s or waves or what have you, and they all had very wide soundscapes to them. Bloodborne being the biggest. So yeah, I think this is the oldest song. I don't know where Pathologic was 2017, so same thing. So yeah, this is the oldest one on here, and it's also a console game rather than a PC game. Well, Bloodborne wasn't PC either. Anyways, is an older console title, so they were limited by hardware. So maybe harmonic ideas simply couldn't be done. Like I said, I don't know what the tech was, but there's just a lot of rhythmic ideas going on here. And I mentioned the bounciness of it. The song is fun. I think that was one of the first words I used. And it starts out with the bass. By utilizing uneven notes in the bass line, it provides this nice bounciness to it. It's like bum ba-dum 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 ba-bum 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 ba-dum, and you get this bounciness. And that in itself, it exists through the entire track, and it just creates this real fun childlikeness to the song. Um, and it really drives a lot of the this track is the sort of uneven rhythmic elements that we see throughout almost every instrument. We see a lot of stuff that have dotted note, non-dotted note, dotted note, and it creates this bounciness. And it is in almost every lead element. It's in the bass element. It even shows up in the drum part at least a couple of times, if not through the whole song as well. The song is just bouncy and fun. Um, but I also like how it is called Town Square, and it feels lively and bustling. We have a few different timbres that are present above the bass and the drums, um, and between all of them, it feels like an old town, maybe like a medieval town. Lots of people moving around, trying to sell wares. I kind of like a couple of times I heard like the rolling of wooden wheels. I don't know if that was something my brain injected in or not. Um, I don't know. It feels very town squarey. I think there's a flute or maybe a synth or a pad that sounded flute like, and I don't know, whatever it was, it gave me like a very townsy feel to it though. Not like a modern town though. Like I said, something very medieval. Um, moving into, I don't know, the end of the 1400s, early 1500s. Right around the time when we started seeing towns pick up after the fiefdoms were slowly the kingdoms were slowly going out of style, and we started seeing more merchants creating pop-up towns kind of. Um, yeah, just really cool like festival style music that reminds me of medieval towns. Um, and that's really cool that he can create that idea with a bunch of uh digital. I would say most of this sounds heavily digital to me. I think the bass is really the only thing that sounds like a bass instrument. Everything else has this electronic tinge to it. The drums, the pads. I mean, they're pads, of course. Yeah, just everything. But still, despite that, I get this really cool, like historic, acoustic feel. Feels like I'm in that sort of atmosphere, and I really appreciate that he was able to kind of create that sense, despite the limitations that I assume he had to deal with creating this. But yeah, really cool song. I'm glad I picked it. It makes me interested in the rest of his stuff. First of all, because I do want to see how rhythmic oriented he is. If it was just this one, because it is creating the element, the scenery of a bustling town. It is called Town Square after all, and towns are not really known for long drawn out moments of peace or tranquility. It is a lot of noises fighting over uh, space to be heard. Think of like going to a mall and going especially to like the food court where it's just everybody talking over one another. You don't really get a sense of any one unique sound. It's more about all these competing short rhythmic ideas. So it could be that is attributed to the style of the song for the element that he's creating in Town Square. But like there's a song called Dark Hollow, Sunny Flight, which I would expect more longer notes, possibly Peacekeepers. I don't actually, that could be anything. Clifftown, Dry Canyon. These are definitely songs that I would expect. They have a song called Metalhead. That I, I kind of wish we had done that one. Um, these are songs that I think would work better with longer notes, and I'm curious if he tried that or if he stuck to rhythmic stuff because that's just what he's more comfortable in. I don't know. Cool things to think about. Those are my thoughts, though. It's where you guys come in, hit me up with anything that you had about this. Maybe you enjoyed it, maybe you didn't. Maybe you have stories about Spyro that you'd like to share, some childhood stuff, or maybe you're playing it today. I don't know. Let me know. I love reading all sorts of comments, especially since music hits us in different ways. Sometimes it's just a song that we really love, and sometimes it's a song that's hit us emotionally because we have some sort of nostalgia for it, especially when it comes to stuff from our childhood. Maybe you're a Police fan and never knew that Stewart Copeland did this. I don't know. Throw down some comments. Above that's a description box if you'd like to check out anything adjacent to the channel. Maybe you enjoy looking at my mug and listening to my voice every day, and you're like, man, I really wish I could chat with this dude and some other music lovers. And I got the thing for you, man. There's a Discord link in the description. That is a fantastic place to go. I'm in there every day. We have some really cool conversations, and it's just a really big chat room. So yeah, if that's you, press that button and join the Discord thing. I'm not really good when I go off script like this. I get all stuttery and I don't know where I'm going with things. So we're gonna move on. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC. I'm gonna get that right from now on until we change times again, and I'm gonna get it wrong for a week with some special selections for Saturday and Sunday. And next week is acoustic week. Yeah, next week's acoustic week, and the week following will be special selections for the first week of April. And we're almost done. By mid-May, end of May, I should be opening up special selections submissions again. So anybody who's wanting to tell me exactly what they want me to check out and they're kind of bummed that the submissions have been closed, that's when you're aiming for. We got another 2 months, give or take, and that'll be open up again. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get this list shrunk down to a reasonable size. We were at like 130 at one point, and that was daunting. But we came out the other side, and I still have my sanity for the most part. So yeah, I'm rambling again though. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, remember to be critical, not cynical of the music you listen to. Be critical, not cynical of everything you do. Don't be cynical about anything. I mean, be guarded. Don't I guess be cynical of something. I don't know. We're be cynical and not nope. Be critical of the music you listen to. And have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.